everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Sister Girl on Films, and we are back with what I believe is the series finale of Fatal Seduction. Y'all, these last two episodes were really good. I feel like they wrapped up the season, possibly even the series, really well. With the exception of a couple of things, but I'll get to that at the end. These two episodes took some twists and turns. Some I kind of predicted, others I kind of did not see coming. So I'm not going to prolong this because I want us to get right into it. It's only two episodes and I took a lot of notes. So I'm glad I broke this up into two parts, okay? Because if I had to do, 7, 8, 9, 10 all in one video, your girl wouldn't have no voice. So let's go ahead and get into episode 9, A Happy New Year. We're back in that wooded area where Precious and the henchman, I don't know his name, have a body. Which y'all know last time I was like, I don't know if that's Jacob's body or not, but they have a body, and the minister pulls up and he tells them that they need to go ahead and make the body unrecognizable. So he wants the hands cut off and he wants the head cut off. So as he gets ready to go and start sawing away at the body parts, he gets a phone call, and it's no other than Leonard calling the minister to tell him that Voyo has not given up. He has more of the Jiba case files. Of course, the minister is pissed off about this. He was like, all right, we need to hurry up and do this because we got to go handle some stuff. And Precious is like, trust me, I can take care of this. Like, you just go handle your business and I'm gonna take care of this. And so the minister kind of doesn't trust her, and he's like, I need you to handle this. Like you said earlier, we can't have any more scandal, so you cannot fuck this up. And Precious reassures him, like, I'm a big girl, like, I'm gonna make this up to you. I can take care of it. And so the minister leaves, and so the henchman kind of hangs around, and Precious is like, you can go too, make sure he's safe. Like, promise, I will take care of this. You just go. So he gets into the truck and leaves. My question is, where's Precious' car? I only saw the one truck, and then the minister came out there. How's Precious gonna get out of the wooded area? Like, what's going on? Neither here or there. I guess she figured it out. Maybe she called an Uber. I don't know. But once the henchman leaves, Precious jumps into the hole, and as I suspected, it is in fact Jacob. She says, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I need you to wake up. Please wake up. This is all because of me. I am so sorry. And then Jacob, of course, opens his eyes. I was like, the Lord is smiling down on Jacob. Maybe his daddy is his guardian angel, because this is the second time that Jacob has been unconscious in a body bag, dragged out to the middle of the woods, left for dead. On the next scene, Voyo goes to Ivy's house, and he's basically begging her to help him. He says, that the minister also tried to kill his daughter, and he wants to make sure he gets justice for not only her daughter, but for Boosie and for his own daughter, so that the minister doesn't harm any other children. That worked, and Ivy ends up letting Voyo in. And so Voyo is asking her basically like, what happened? Like, what do you know? And so Ivy recounts the whole story about finding the minister basically grooming Precious. And so as a result, the husband wanted to get his revenge on the minister, but she assures Voyo that her husband did not kill the minister's daughter. So at this point, I'm like, well, what the hell happened to the little girl? I'm thinking, well, maybe, did the minister kill her? I was like, is he this psychotic and sadistic that he would kill his own child and then feign all this depression and grief and all this hopelessness about his daughter and all this whatever he is feeling when he been the killer the whole time? Like, I'm like, the mystery keeps piling up. I figured it was like an open and shut case. But apparently it's not. We cut to the minister meeting up with Leonard. And again, Leonard lets the minister know that Voyo was able to go to his office and get all of the files on the Jiba case. And Leonard is concerned that Voyo's going to go talk to Ivy because all the addresses were in that case file. And basically they can't let that happen because of what Ivy knows, in that Ivy can really testify to the fact that Benjamin Jiba was in fact innocent. So the minister kind of lets Leonard know, like, yeah, Ivy is a problem, but so is your brother. And in fact, I feel like he's even a bigger problem and we have to take care of him. And so Leonard is kind of like offended and he's like, what are you talking about? And he was like, basically, you know what I mean. And Leonard is like, are you mad that it's my brother? Like, I will take care of him, but we will not be harming him. And so then the minister starts to get emotional and he talks about how losing a child is something that he would not wish on anybody. And he just wants to get justice for Boosie, and he just wants to be able to basically become deputy president and blah, 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 say to kids, whatever, a bunch of bullshit. And basically Voyo and really Ivy for him is getting in the way of that, because when he becomes deputy president, you know, he can heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. Okay, come on, Michael. Heal the world. Back at Nandi and Leonard's house, Nandi is sitting there and she keeps replaying in her mind what Jacob said about Leonard and his amnesia. And so Leonard, he wakes up and Nandi is just sitting there staring at him, which would probably freak me out. And he's like, hey, babe, what's up? She's like, yeah, what's up? What's up, bro? He's like, is everything okay? She's like, everything is just fine. So he gets up, goes to the bathroom, comes back out the bathroom, and Nandi's looking at him. And she was like, so, how did you remember Amira? I said, oh, how did he? Listen, obviously, we know his amnesia is fake, but I didn't even think about that in that scene when Amira was at their house. And he was like, hey, it's Amira. And Nandi didn't clock it either until Jacob kind of said he's faking this amnesia shit. And baby girl, y'all know Nandi's smart, put two and two together and was able to determine that Leonard is a lie. And so Leonard is like, oh, well, you know, the amnesia is starting to wear off, but there's some things that I start to remember, some things I still don't. And Nandi said, right. But Amira had only been working for you for a couple of months before all of this happened. So you just remember her so crystal clear. So Leonard, what the hell is going on? I said, your goose is cooked, bald-headed, ashy ass audacity. Back at Jacob's place, Jacob confronts Precious about saying it's all my fault. And Precious says, you know, I can't tell you the truth because it will destroy the minister. And he has saved me so many times and I just cannot hurt him anymore. And so Jacob says, you always talk about how you were afraid of your father and you vowed to never be afraid of another man. But it's giving afraid, baby girl. It's giving you're really afraid of the minister. And this is why you don't really want to tell me the truth. So what's tea, sis? Jacob didn't say it, but that was how I heard it. Like, what's really going on? Like, you want to be so tough and you this and you that, but something about you and this minister, it just ain't adding up to me. And so while they're talking, Precious gets a message from the minister that he wants to basically meet up with her. And so she leaves Jacob and then she goes to the sex club to meet up with the minister. So Jacob, still determined to clear up his father's name, goes back to the minister's home to see his wife. But this time, Jacob is there and he means business. So Jacob, he actually grabbed a gun before he left. And so I'm like, oh, is he gonna kill the lady? Like, what's gonna happen? And so it kind of it goes to the next scene before we see what actually happens. But the minister's wife is like, Peter! And Jacob is like, yeah, bitch, I'm back. And then we go to the next scene with Precious and the minister at the sex club. And the minister, you know, asks her again, like, you know, are you sure you're okay with this whole Jacob situation? Are you sure you took care of it? And Precious is pretty much like, you really overestimated how much I really cared about this Jacob. Like, I know I am yours. I owe my loyalty to you. You wanted me to handle him. You wanted me to kill him. And I did what you asked me to do. So the minister approaches Precious, and Precious says, you know, the only man that I ever feared was my father. And so the minister says, and I saved you from that. And Precious is like, yes, but not so that I could have my own life. I said, oh, period. Precious clocked that. Yeah, you saved me from my abusive father, but only so that I could be owned by you for basically for the rest of my life. So like, what were you really saving me from? And so while they're having this conversation, Jacob calls Precious. So the minister snatches the phone away from Precious, and Jacob is pretty much like, yeah, I'm alive, motherfucker, and I want you to schedule a press conference right now to let the world know that my father is innocent and that he did not kill your daughter. And so the minister was like, boy, I'm not doing that. Like, are you crazy? So Jacob turns the phone and shows that he has kidnapped the minister's wife. Oh, Lord of mercy. So the minister calls Clint and he says, hey, are you by yourself? And so Clint is like, no, Z is with me. And the minister was like, perfect. I need you to bring her to my club immediately. And Clint is like, are you, I will do it, but are you planning to hurt her or something? And the minister's like, boy, you don't ask me no questions, just do what I say. And he hangs up on him. So in the next scene, we're back at Nandi and Leonard's place. And they are sitting at the kitchen table. And so Leonard, of course, is still trying to act like this amnesia shit is real. And so Nandi is like, okay, no problem. I believe you, Pookie Bear. So since your amnesia is so legit, this is what I need you to do for me. Because since we can't trust Voyo, because he's so unstable, we don't know whether he coming or going, what he got going on. I think it would be best if you sign over your power of attorney to me so that I can handle your finances and things like that. Because if you got this amnesia, like you say you do, then I want to make sure you're okay and you're not trying to make decisions when you don't really know all the information that's available. So go ahead and sign these papers, Leonard. Since you got amnesia and shit. And so Leonard is sitting there like looking dumb. And then he's like, Nandi, can we just, I don't think we need to do this. Can we just talk about it? And so Nandi is like, what is there to talk about, Leonard? Like, just sign the papers. And so he's sitting there and baby, Nandi slapped fire from his ass. She slapped the dog shit out of him. And baby, I know she had been holding on to that slap since she found out about Brenda. I know she been holding on to that. And Nandi is like, I knew if I had threatened your money, the truth would come out. You would reveal yourself because that's all the hell you care about is your damn money. Nandi ends up like walking away from the breakfast table or whatever they at. She goes into the room. She grabs his bag. She's like, you gonna get the hell up out this house. I'm done with this marriage. You need to get out. You need to leave me alone. And so Leonard follows her. Was like, Nandi, no. Listen to me. I'm sorry. I haven't been faking. You have to listen to me. I have to listen to me. And so Leonard tries to pull the whole, I did this for my family. I did this for you. I did this for Z. I love my family and I had to do this to protect y'all. Baby. Nandi crashes out. Nandi starts hitting him. She starts hitting him with the bag. And she was like, I am sick of this. Fuck you, Leonard. You are a liar. Like, you didn't do this for us. You did this for yourself. You are selfish. And so she like is wearing him out, honey. So he falls on the ground, trying to protect himself. And she quit hitting him when she's tired. And then her phone rings. And baby, it's the minister. And so Leonard sees the phone. He picks it up. He's like, why is the minister calling you? Nandi, bitch, give me my phone. I'll beat your ass some more. So the minister lets Nandi know that Jacob has kidnapped his wife and that he has Z. So if he wants to get Z back, she better convince Jacob to let his wife go. And Nandi is like, how many times I got to tell y'all I don't deal with this boy? And the minister is like, I don't give a damn about none of that shit. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. About none of that shit. I don't care. I want my wife back. So go talk to your little boy toy and get my wife. Y'all, this episode was good. And so Nandi calls Voyo and she's like, Voyo, Jacob has kidnapped the minister's wife. We need to get him to let her go. Otherwise, the minister is going to do something to Z. And so, of course, Leonard is like, what's going on? She should have backhanded. Shut up. She should have backhanded the shit out of bald-headed ass Audacity, but she didn't. So her and Leonard go over to Voyle's place. Voyle has Nandi call Jacob. He starts to try to trace the call. He's like, hey, keep him on the phone as long as you can. And she's like, Jacob, where are you? Like, what's going on? I want to see you. I want to talk to you. He's like, Nandi, you're not right now. I got some shit going on. And she was like, Jacob, what is happening? Like, where are you at? Just let me know where you're at. And so Voyle was like, keep him talking, keep him talking. And so Jacob ends up hanging up on her. So Nandi's like, did you get it? Did you get it? And so Voyle was looking at the computer screen, you know, trying to see if he was able to get the location. And then the episode ends. Y'all, episode 9 was so good. What made it so good for me was the fact that Jacob kidnapped that damn wife. I didn't think he was gonna do it. I thought maybe he was gonna go and he was gonna try to appeal to her and be like, I am Benjamin Jeba's son, and I want to assure you that my father did not do this to your daughter, and I just need your help. And I thought that he was gonna bust out like infringement about the manuscript and all that, but no. Psychotic Jacob is back, kidnapping people. I can't believe it. And then Nandi crashing out on baby. Whew. The way I have been waiting for her to crash out on him like this, cause he been needing that ass toe up. He been needing his ass whooped. And I know Voyle in season 1 wore his ass out in that bar, but I needed Nandi to do to him what she did in this episode. Because baby, when she slapped him, oh, I felt it in my soul, because I wanted to slap his ass too. So episode 9 was good, but I want to get into episode 10, the finale, which the finale, the way I needed to finale. So let's go ahead and get into episode 10, Pain. Episode opens right where we need to start, with Jacob having the minister's wife tied up, kidnapped at gunpoint. Jacob is like, I gave him plenty of time, you know, talking about the minister. He won his press conference. The minister ain't do it, right? And so Jacob's like, I gave him plenty of time. And he says to Deli, I know you don't deserve this, but neither did my father. And so he puts a Bible in her lap and he was like, sorry. And so he holds the gun up to her and I'm like, Jacob's about to kill this lady. And so he's hesitant, like he can't really do it. And so she's like crying and kind of like not really pleading for her life, but just like, what the fuck is going on? And so it looks like he's not going to shoot her. And then he takes a deep breath like, okay, no, I'm really going to have to do this. And so he puts the gun back up. And so in walks Nandi, Voyle, and Leonard right on time. Okay. In the nick of time, honey, because he's about to take that lady head off. You hear me? Voyle and Nandi are basically trying to appeal to Jacob. Nandi more because, you know, she has kryptonite coochie. So it's very easy for her to persuade the men to do whatever she wants. And the ladies. We can't forget about Fila, okay? Or Pila. And so Nandi is like, Jacob, like, you don't need to do this. Like, I know you want to get revenge. I know you want to clear your father's name, but this is not the way to do it. Like, she is innocent. Don't do this. I just put the gun down. Jacob is kind of still, you know, looking at Nandi, considering what she said. And so he has the gun at his side. And so Leonard's bitch ass is like, Voyle, take the shot. And so Jacob was like, bitch, what? And Jacob shoots towards Leonard a couple times. And so Nandi's like, Leonard, no, and Nandi's like, Jacob, please stop. And so Jacob, you know, starts trying to calm down a little bit. And so by this time they had already taken like the gag off of Deli. And Deli like spits at Jacob and she was like, you're the devil, just like your father. And so Voyle was like, Deli, like, you need to chill on that devil shit because it ain't even what you think it is. And so Voyle ends up playing the recording that he has of Ivy telling all the history of the minister grooming Precious, and Deli is like devastated. Like, she starts crying, and Voyle was like, Benjamin Jeba did not kill your daughter, and we're trying to find out, you know, what happened, what the truth is, but Benjamin Jeba did not kill your daughter. You know, now that the truth is kind of out, Jacob is a little bit more calm. You know, he drops the gun or whatever. Leonard comes out from where he's hiding. And so Nandi is pissed and she's like, you know, we need to, like, we are wasting too much time. Like, we need to go and find Z. And so Voyo's like, you know, well, what the hell is going on? And Nandi's pretty much like, you know, ask this motherfucker. He ain't even got amnesia for real. He been faking it this whole time. And Voyo was like, what? I'm like, he's a piece of shit, Voyo. Like, you should have known this. Deli picks up the gun and she starts pointing it at Jacob. And everybody's like, oh. Like, calm down. Like, don't do this. Like he didn't mean it. He was upset or whatever. Like, trying to talk her out of it. And then she ends up pointing the gun at herself. And Deli ends up killing herself. It was kind of sad. It was kind of sad because I didn't mention it, but in episode 9, the minister was telling Leonard that the death of Boosie almost killed Deli because she went into such a deep depression that she had tried to kill herself a couple times. And this is why it was so important for the minister that the truth doesn't come out, because if she ever found out the truth, it would devastate, it would kill her. Like, she wouldn't be able to survive it. And fast forward to this, the truth comes out and he was right. She was not able to survive it and she ended up killing herself. Everybody's shocked, but Nandi is like, oh, this is terrible, but I got to go get my daughter. And so Nandi and Jacob end up running out, you know, so they can get in his car and try to find Z. While Leonard and Voyo are at I guess it's a warehouse with Deli's body, Voyo was like, oh, this is awful. Like, but we got to go and find Z. And so Leonard ends up grabbing the gun and tells Voyo, like, I need that recording. And Voyo's like, what the fuck are you doing? And Leonard is like, cut the shit. I need this recording. Like, you will not ruin my life. Like, you're not going to get my daughter killed. Like, I need to protect Z. He's like, and obviously you don't give a damn about protecting Z, because you had a chance to protect her by letting this shit go and you wouldn't do it. So now I got to do it for you. I said, oh, now y'all know I don't fool with bald-headed, ashy ass audacity. But when he right, he right. When he is right, he is right. Because Voyo definitely put Z in danger. And Leonard is like, I'm going to protect my daughter. And so they start tussling a little bit. Y'all know Voyo's always going to get the upper hand with Leonard because he be beating Leonard's ass. But this time Leonard got the upper hand and boom, he shoots Voyo. And I'm like, okay, so this definitely is like the last season, because not they didn't killed Voyo. What? So after Leonard shoots Voyo, the minister calls Leonard. The minister was like, what the hell is going on? You better tell me my wife is okay right now. And so Leonard is like, so by okay, define okay. No, he didn't say that, but he was quiet. And the minister was like, hello, motherfucker. Is my wife okay? She better be untouched. And so Leonard is pretty much like, she's dead. And baby, what he say that for? The way that minister lost his shit, he had him on speakerphone, so Precious heard it too, and Precious was like, oh no. But very dramatic. All the drama, honey. This was a good scene. This was probably one of the best openings of the show, in my opinion, okay? I forgot to mention, so when Jacob called the minister to say that he had kidnapped his wife, once they got off the phone, the minister calls for Clint. So one of the henchmen goes to get Clint. Clint goes up to see the minister, and the minister is basically like, hey, you are doing such a great job. You did what I asked you to do. You brought Z here, and so I want to reward you. So he pulls out this little baggie, and the minister is pretty much like, this is the best coke in the city, and it's so good that the Colombians would be jealous. So go have you a good time. And Clint was like, oh my God, thanks. I didn't know this nigga was a crackhead, but apparently he is. And so as Clint leaves, Precious is pretty much like, we don't be selling coke, we sell heroin. And the minister was like, yeah, I know. And Precious is like, But if they snort that, they're going to die. Like, they're going to have an overdose. And the minister is pretty much like, well, que sera, sera, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. But he kidnapped my wife. So now they got to pay the price. So, yeah. So I forgot to mention that earlier, y'all. But let's fast forward to where I'm at now. So Nandi and Jacob make it to the sex club, right? And so while they're there, they're like trying to find Z. They're like going around. Nandi's like lifting up people's masks that she thinks is Z. She doesn't see her. And so Nandi spies Precious. So Nandi follows Precious into the bathroom and she confronts Precious. She's like, where is Z? And so Precious is like, bitch, what you doing here? You sure got a lot of nerve being here after y'all have killed the minister's wife. And Nandi tells her Deli killed herself, and Precious is like, she wouldn't have done that. Like, she would have never killed herself. And Nandi lets her know, well, actually she did. Voyle let her hear a recording of Ivy telling her everything that happened. So she heard how the minister groomed you at 16, and she heard everything that happened up to that. It was too much for her and she killed herself. And so Precious is like devastated. Nandi tries to appeal to Precious and she's like, Precious, like, you have to help us, like, take this man down. Like, he is not a good man. You did not deserve any of that. You were a child. You were only 16. Like, you didn't know what you were doing. Like, please help me find Z. You know, tell me where she is so that he doesn't keep harming all these women and all these young girls. And so Precious is just like bugging out. She was just like, no, you're lying. I don't want to hear any of this. And she calls for the guard. And so Nandi is basically pleading for her to tell her where Z is. And so Precious is just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? But it also seems like Nandi really like making it plain that he groomed you. You were 16. You are a child. And regardless of anything, that man took advantage of you. And none of this is your fault. And it seems like Nandi saying that to her probably really clicked for her, because I'm sure she never really like saw it that way, because I'm sure the minister, you know, and him grooming her probably convinced her that it's what she wanted to, and there's a mutual attraction and all this other shit, you know, that groomers tend to do. And so Precious was pretty much brainwashed this whole time. And so Precious goes back to the minister. Child, this motherfucker, the little like S&M little crossbar is up and he's on the floor crying. Mistress, please beat me. Please beat me now. Shut up. Shut your ass up. Y'all know I love a fake cry. Precious, when she goes in there, she goes into mistress mode and she picks him up. She starts tying his arms to the crossbar. So she starts talking to the minister, and the minister is like, you are all that I have, and together we will get justice for Deli. These people will go down. Like, they don't know who they are messing with. And Precious, it's pretty much like, you and I are the reason that Deli and Boosie are dead. And so the minister is like, bitch, what? Precious ends up confronting the minister for grooming her as a young girl. And she says, I was a child and you took advantage of me. And because of our actions, Deli found out about us and she killed herself. And so the minister is like, what the fuck? So he's devastated because now, like, what the fuck is going on? His big lie has been exposed. And so we get a flashback. Now we finally are going to get answers to what the hell happened to this baby. So come to find out, the opening scene from the season where Precious is running through the woods with little Boosie and her dad is chasing her. So the dad had kidnapped little Boosie, right? He hadn't done anything to her, but he had kidnapped her. So Precious found her. She gets her and they're sort of like running through the woods to hide from her father. And so while they're behind this log, Precious puts her hand over little Boosie's mouth because Boosie starts talking and she's like, shh, you gotta be quiet. And so she puts her hand over her mouth. Unbeknownst to Precious, she accidentally suffocates little Boosie and she kills her. This whole time. So not only it's so layered, like the cover up of it all. So basically the coroner helped to cover up and make this look worse than what it was, because she wasn't sexually assaulted. She was, suffocated, but it wasn't like a brutal, like they tried to make it seem like he raped her and like he choked her to death and all this stuff. And that's not what happened at all. We come back to present time and Precious tells the minister, I killed Boosie. This whole time he thought her daddy did it. That's why he stomped him out and smashed his head to death. Whole time it was Precious. And she was like, it was an accident. I didn't mean to do it. But, it is what it is now. Now you gotta die. So like she tries to start tightening like the little collar that he has around his neck. And it's working for a little bit, but his little bony ass arms, he's able to wiggle them out of the straps. And so he gets to whooping Precious's ass. He like punches her. He kicks her. I'm like, girl, what happened to them fighting skills? You could fight. What happened? While the minister is in there wearing out Precious, Nandi pulls up. And so she like using her big old titties, and convinces the henchman to let her in to talk to the minister. Because she's like, he called me. He said he wants to talk to me. And the henchman is like, I don't know nothing about that. He's like, well, baby, you ain't got to know everything. Just know he wanted me to come and see him. So she goes in there and she sees the minister ragtagging Precious. So she grabs a bottle, hits him upside the head, and knocks him out a little bit. The minister gets up, knocks Precious back down, and he rushes towards Nandi, and Nandi ends up stabbing him with the jagged edges of the bottle. And the minister is finally dead. Hallelujah. Get this pedo out of here. Get him out of here. And so while all this is happening with Nandi, Jacob has already been like scouring the sex club to try to find Z. And so he finally finds Z, and Z is on the bed, passed out. She and Clint ended up snorting the heroin, and they both ended up passing out. Jacob starts administering CPR on Z while he's doing it. This is what we saw in the opening scene, where it looks like it looks like he's choking Z, but really he's trying to give her CPR. So Nandi runs in, she's screaming for Z, and then she's like freaking out. Z ends up waking up. Poor Clint just dead. He just gone. Poor him. He's dead. Nobody cares about him. So they walk her down to the ambulance and all that. And back at the warehouse, we see that Voyo has been saved by the Lord. He so happened to have that Bible from Delhi in his pocket. He had picked it up. He put it in his pocket. That's exactly where Leonard shot him. The bullet didn't even pierce him. So Voyo is saved. And I was like, oh my God. Look at this. Well, we might have a season 3 after all, but not so fast. So the police show up, the ambulance, all the emergency crews, and Precious comes out in handcuffs. So apparently she was framed for the murder of the minister, I'm supposed to. I don't know. But she is cooperating with the police. We get a little voiceover from our girl Nandi. So Precious was arrested for the murder of the minister. She's cooperating with the police, so telling them about all the corrupt cases, all of the people they work with, all of the shit that the minister has been up to, essentially tarnishing his reputation, which good. He ain't need to be in that much power and control, no way. But baby, this is the kicker. So while Voyo is at his office, he's kissing the picture of Brenda. He feels like everything is good. He got her justice. The minister is dead. Benjamin Jeba's name has been cleared. All is well with the Lord. Baby, the popo roll up in and arrest Voyo for the murder of Yusuf. Baby, I said, I know you're lying. Voyo was like, I ain't do it. The police ain't trying to hear it. So then we fast forward to Nandi visiting Voyo. Visiting Voyo in prison. And so Nandi is like, how the tables have turned, the turned have tabled. Because the last time we saw each other, you was over here on my side and I was on your side. And so Voya's like, Nandi, you got to help me. I didn't do this. Leonard killed Yusuf. I'm innocent. And Nandi is pretty much like, you know, it's crazy how that works, isn't it? You know, I can recall me being innocent and, you know, me being thrown into jail. And remember when you said I would never get out and I got what I deserved? Karma's a bitch. And Voyo's pretty much like, Nandi, you can't do this to me. Like, we're talking about murder. I would be in prison. And she was like, for the rest of your life? Yeah, I know. I know. And so Voyo was like, but it wasn't me. Like, I found his body. Like, how can this be? Like, what is going on? And Nandi basically says, you know, Precious, you know, she cut a little deal, you know, and she helped me with this. So I'm guessing that maybe Precious still had the CCTV evidence and didn't necessarily like delete it, but just took the tape. And then on the tape, it showed that Voyo was there. So maybe they like doctored it. I don't know. But somehow the video footage of him going to Yusuf's house was used to convict him. Baby. Nandi is like, good luck, bitch. Don't drop the soap. And she leaves. And of course, Voyo is pissed. Nandi! Like, it's over for you, my boy. I was so happy. Like, I was a little conflicted because I was still kind of like thinking about how Voyo had been played, you know, in the first part of season 1, right? But that second half of season 1, Voyo was trash. And then up until this point, him still keeping Nandi in jail, him living off of Leonard shit, like whole villain arc. But, you know, there's also a part of Voyo that really did love Brenda and wanted to get justice for her, but he just went about it all the wrong way. So there's a part of me that feels bad for him, but also karma is a bitch because you were willing to let Nandi rot in jail, especially knowing that you knew that Brenda killed herself. Child, I don't feel bad for him no more. Now Don talks about it. So Nandi goes back to the house and Leonard is sitting there looking dumb. And Nandi asks for the recording of the Ivy recording. And Leonard is like, for what? Like, you don't need it. Like, we can start over. You know, we don't have to do. She was like, do you think you deserve to be a judge? Do you really think you deserve to have a successful career? Do you think you are the morality person that needs to be doing? No, give me the fucking tape. And while we're here, sign these goddamn divorce papers. Of course, Leonard is like, no, Nandi, like, we are doing so good. We can start over. You know, this don't have to be the end of us. And Nandi's pretty much just like, Leonard, sign the fucking papers. You do not want to know what I'm capable of. Just sign the shit and leave me alone. To wrap up the episode, we see that Z goes back to Laura's place looking all sheepish and crazy. And so Laura, you know, half-ass opens the door and she's like, I just have one question. Did you sleep with Clint? And Z is like, no, I didn't. Although she did, but like, this nigga did. So like, you know. I guess maybe did Laura not find out about that yet? Or I don't know. Like, I feel like that was a weird response. I'm like, does Laura not know everything that happened? Maybe that's why Z is there. It felt kind of cold considering like Z almost died and that Clint is dead. I don't know. That seemed kind of weird. But Laura and Z are back together. And then our girl Precious, she's able to get out of prison because she found the photos of Voyo and the prosecutor fucking, and Precious was like, is this you, Mookie? And the prosecutor was like, fuck, damn pictures. And so apparently, I guess she dropped the case against Precious, and Precious is out, and she's finally able to be free and live a normal life and start her life over from scratch. I don't know. And so we cut back to Leonard. This nigga's crying in the shower. Boy, please, enough. So his life is ruined, you know, but he deserves it. He was a corrupt judge. He set this innocent man up for a crime he didn't commit. He was sleeping with his best friend's girlfriend. I had to do it. For 10 years, you had to sleep with that lady for a whole decade? Negro, please. So his life is over. He's devastated. And so at the end, Nandi ends up going to Jacob for one last final screw, rolling the hay. And she writes him a letter and lets him know that even though she loves him, she knows that Z will never accept him. Because the way I was going to be pissed off if they tried to make her and Jacob be together, but they didn't. The writers had some sense, but he blew her back out one good time. I don't blame you, girl. I would have let him drop that. Sorry. But so she lets Jacob know that they can never be together. They will never talk again. He got the justice that he was looking for. His father's name has been cleared. Now he is free to live his best life, and he does not need her anymore. Like, they can just be done with each other. He's pissed off because he loves Nandi, but Nandi is like, and I'm done with all this shit. And so the final scene of the season is Nandi and Z on the beach, looking carefree and happy and all the things. And that's the end of the season, possibly the series. So I really did enjoy season 2. I thought it was really good. I appreciated the fact that it was only 10 episodes as opposed to season 1, which was 14 episodes. I feel like the storylines wrapped up pretty well, except there was a couple of things. Now, I don't know if they plan to have a season 3, which I don't think they should. I don't think there's anything for them to have to talk about. I feel like everything was wrapped up nice and neat. The viewership is down on the show. Just stop the Q-tip when there's resistance. Like, let's hang it up. Flat screen. We're done here. But a couple of things that felt unresolved for me was whatever happened to Pila. Like, did she ever find out that Nandi set her up? Like, how long did she go to jail for? I guess because he was a corrupt judge, you know. I mean, the minister was corrupt, whatever, minister of police. So they couldn't put any kind of charges on her. But since he got murdered and Precious basically told the T on all of the cases, like, did that include Pila's case? And is she going to get out and come for Nandi? Like, what's good with that? Clint, you know, like, did Laura find out, you know, what happened to Clint? You know, like, or did they keep the identities of the people in the sex club? And not, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think they would have, though. To me, that would have made, you know, the major news that Clint was found dead. And so, like, did Laura hear about it? Like, so that felt kind of open-ended for me. I think that was it, though. Everything else to me was tied up pretty well, and I wouldn't want to see a season 3. But overall for me, so I'm just going to wrap this up as if the series is done. I feel like Fatal Seduction was a really good series. You know, I feel like a 2-season series is good. And I feel like it did a really great job of, like, just building the story. I love the way it connected the first 2 seasons. It didn't feel disjointed. It didn't bring in random ass characters that wouldn't really make sense. You know, it all flowed to tell one congruent story. So I really like that about the series. I hate that they waited so long before they released season 2, because I feel like the buzz of it probably kind of died down. And I also feel like they just picked a terrible time to release it because there's so much shit on Netflix right now. And at the time when it was originally released, it was like a little bit after 365. So people were kind of looking for, like, hot, horny shit to watch on Netflix. And now Netflix has kind of shifted to documentaries and true docs and all that stuff. But I hope people circle back to watch season 2, because I feel like it's really good. Also, so they can watch my videos. I'm just saying. But thank y'all so much for y'all pulling up, you know, and watching my recaps and reviews of season 2. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you saw of the season overall. And as always, y'all, like the video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to see y'all next time for another episode of Thriller Thursday. Bye.